at the Good Hand Simulator Complex in Lowe Airfield worked very hard so the 4th graders at FRES could come and enjoy learning about their jobs in helicopters. We were instructed by the Echo 1-2 12th Aviation Regiment's flight school instructors, just like the Army soldiers who come to Fort Rucker for flight school. We got to learn all about Blackhawks and other interesting helicopters. The 4th graders learned about weather safety, and we got to go to the Lowe Fire Department to learn all about fire safety. A woman from Lister taught us all about Medevac, medical evacuation. The 4th graders got to fly simulators and crash them to our heart's content. Monday was a great learning experience and was also very fun. On the 4th grade field trip, Operation Panther Pride, one of the stations we went to was the station where meteorologists taught us about different weather patterns and some of the tools that meteorologists use. We learned about rain, the water cycle, snow, hail, lightning, tornadoes, and hurricanes. We learned what you can do if you're stuck outside and there's a thunderstorm. What you do is you get into a ditch and crouch into a ball, covering the back of your neck with your hands. We also learned what you do if you're inside and there's a thunderstorm. You don't get near windows, your bathroom, or electronics. If you have to use your bathroom in a thunderstorm, you can, but make it quick. Conductors of lightning are water, metal, and trees. Those are some of the things we learned, but that's not all we did. The meteorologist also showed us some cool things too. One of the things that the meteorologist showed us was something you can do at home. The crafty activity is the tornado in a bottle, where you take 2 empty 2-liter bottles, fill one with water, and use strong duct tape, taping the bottles together. Make sure the water doesn't leak out. Lastly, all you have to do is shake the connected bottles while you're flipping them over, and you've got a tornado in a bottle. We also tried to blow a small crumpled up paper into a bottle. The paper didn't go into the bottle, no matter how hard or soft we blew. The paper wouldn't go into the bottle because the paper looped around the bottom of the bottle and shot out of the opening of the bottle. Some of the things that the meteorologist showed us were some machines that the meteorologist uses at work. The first was the ASOS, Automated Surface Observing System, and an anemometer, which tells you how fast the wind is blowing and which direction it is going in. Those are some of the weather tools that the meteorologists use. That is what we learned in the weather station at Good Hand Simulator Complex on our field trip, Operation Panther Pride.
Have you ever been in a Blackhawk? Because I have. I also got to learn about the engine. In the cockpit of a Blackhawk, the Mike model, there are 6 to 7 screens. There are also controls. In the back of the Blackhawk, there are 3 rows of seats. When our team leader showed us the engine, he told us that the 3 main sources the Blackhawk engine needs. The first source is air, the second source is fuel, and the last source is spark, or fire. How the engine works with all these sources is first, the engine sucks in the air. Have you ever squeezed a peanut butter and jelly sandwich into a ball? Well, that's what the gears inside the engine does to the air. Then the engine adds fuel to the compressed air. With the fuel and the compressed air, the spark that the engine adds causes the compressed air to explode, and it goes out the back. And that's the static display.
There is an air health and a ground health. Medevac stands for medical evacuation and started in the Vietnam War. They use the ABC method. A stands for airway, B stands for breathing, and C stands for circulation. When they are on missions to find wounded soldiers, they have an area in the back of the helicopter to help the patient. They also use machines like the EKG, which shows their breathing rate. The Medevac call sign is dust off. Dust off is backronym. A backronym is when you take an existing word and make it into an acronym. Dust off stands for dedicated, unhesitating service to our fighting force. That is what we learned on our amazing field trip at the Medevac station.
field trip, Operation Panther Pride, we went to Lowe Airfield. We learned about fire safety. Another thing we did was watch a short smoke detector video.
We learned that you need to test your smoke detector once a month by pressing the test button. We also learned you need to change batteries in the smoke detector once a year.
After that, we got to try on all the firemen's gear, like their jackets, pants, and helmet. After that, we went in a fire truck. We were able to go in the front seat of the fire truck. Without the experience, we would not have the knowledge we have now.
Have you ever controlled a Chinook?
Well, we have.
When the 4th grade students went to Good Hand on their field trip for Operation Panther Pride, each student got to control either a Chinook, Mi-17, or a Black Hawk.
We got to control a CH-47 Chinook. We all thought it was very cool and very exciting.
The Chinook was a simulator, however, it did not feel like one. I had lots of fun, too. Inside the simulator, there were many buttons and switches, more than you could ever think of having to control at one time. There were also headphones you could put on to talk to the person next to you in the cockpit. There was a big screen and other little screens. It would actually be a window in the real cockpit. The first time I tried to land, I was successful, but the next time I crashed. We received on-the-job training from real instructors that trained soldiers at Fort Rucker. I had so much fun. I felt like I was really in a video game.
I had fun too. I saw how hard and how much concentration you need to be able to fly a Chinook Mi-17 or a Black Hawk. I also learned that it is hard to control a helicopter no matter the size. I enjoyed all of the buttons we could press because it made me feel like I was really flying. I felt like I was in a video game. That is how real it felt. I also enjoyed being able to talk to the other person in the cockpit from the headphones. I loved being able to fly a Chinook this field trip.
In the Chinook simulator, there were 2 computers. One computer had weather settings. The settings were day, night, lightning, rain, and tornadoes. When you do this, it is like settings for easy, medium, and hard. That was really cool. On the second computer, you could see the location you were flying. You could even go to Louisiana, Mississippi, or even Texas. Another setting is you can change whether you want the flight to be easy, medium, or hard. You could also see where the other people were flying. If Mr. Helicopter, the mission leader, and Mrs. Satterfield hadn't brought Operation Panther Pride together, we wouldn't be able to learn lots and have fun.
Thank you, Mr. Helicopter, Miss Satterfield, and Dr. Gilmer for making this field trip possible.